It's getting extra crispy here this morning. And I'm not referring to fried chicken. I'm not referring to Pump the Blood. I'm not referring to the mailbox that keeps on spinning around. And I'm not referring to the dead ends. No San Francisco's nail salon or hair salon can fix this one because we're heading to a bill vote. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Morning's LALATE, and really the most exciting morning broadcast of this channel in over a week. You know, it was over 2 months ago that this channel was the first to report that the problem solvers were going to get you a second stimulus deal, and we're meeting with Mark Meadows. It was last Monday that this channel reported that there was one of 3 bills coming, and it was last night that this channel first reported that a vote is imminent next week. If there was ever time to go to the Funnest channel and subscribe, it is now. Go to the Funnest channel and subscribe to the best damn news channel and the most watched morning news program online, Mornings LALATE, every a.m. at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And drop your comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Also like this video because this is going to be the most exciting damn video you're going to watch this week. It is an incredible morning as we wake up with 260,000 subscribers, part of the Purple Power, who have singularly you included have really gotten this done, and you should be so incredibly proud of yourself as the second stimulus package is likely imminently finally coming to a vote next week. Boy, this is insanely great news. Let me recap where we are right now. First, I'll be going over the broad stroke, and then I'll go over the details. Broad stroke is second stimulus bill will get a vote next week. Lots of Republicans and Democrats are reporting in comments on the record in the last few hours. That's the first thing. Second thing, it will have in there your second stimulus checks. Third, it'll have retroactive FPUC benefits likely, but it will be a robust amount of FPUC, and it may include hazard pay. Boy, let's get to the incredible backstory now. The backstory started with you and me several months ago when this channel was very small, and I was the first to report that I need you to watch this group called the Problem Solvers. At the time, Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi's negotiations on the second stimulus package had fallen apart. They had done 2 weeks of negotiations. They had gotten nowhere. So, well, they had gotten somewhere, but they had not reached an agreement. So this group of bipartisans, 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans, met with Mark Meadows at the White House. I reported it. I was the only channel covering them in incredible detail because I knew singularly they were going to push the envelope. They met with Mark Meadows. He told him what the president wants. This was very important because ultimately the president signs the bill. And they put it in there. They went to meet with Nancy Pelosi, and she refused to meet with them. This was at the time that she was locking her door. In fact, she's still not unlocked it. The Temple of Doom doesn't really let a lot of people in. Well, they never got her insight as to what she wanted. They went back. Then on Monday, I reported, again, I was the first to report that there were 3 bills looming, the problem solvers, the blue dogs, and the new age Democrats, and that they're all pushing the envelope. The second and third bills, of course, are all by Republicans. The first bill is bipartisan. I said, get ready, because the pressure that you, singularly on the Purple Power, are putting on Nancy Pelosi is going to work. No one else is doing it except you. No one else should take credit for it except you. You were doing it. And it worked. It worked with a combined effort of a very good public relations campaign by the problem solvers, which put them on every morning news broadcast on Tuesday morning when they announced their bill. Their bill was announced, and immediately I told you, I don't want to hear what she says. I don't want to see what she says. I don't care what she says. And I had a couple of naysayers jump in the comments right away. Says, she rejected. I said, I don't care what she rejects. Give it a few hours. It's going to implode around her face. And it did. In the hours that followed thereafter, between Tuesday and Thursday, the Democratic Party really went after Nancy Pelosi and the Republicans and said, listen, what you're doing, which is staying and not answering people, not responding to things, saying, don't come to me unless, tell me the number I want, or unless, doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't go into the fall polls that way. Then this. And this is something you're only going to hear on this channel. You're not going to hear it anywhere else either. It really changed Friday evening. And if you tuned into LALATE evenings, I know you did, because there's a lot of viewership on that video. I broke to you how something suddenly changed everything. Strangely, it was the airlines. The airlines executives, by the work of a very good lobbyist, got a meeting with Mark Meadows, chief of staff to Donald Trump, got all the airline CEOs into a meeting at the White House late this week, and said, you know what, we need a bailout. We need $25 billion. I know we got $25 billion before, but we need it right now. And they came out of the meeting and he says, we're going to get it. And Mark Meadows says, I'm going to give it. And it needs to be done by Congress. The president will do it by executive action, but it needs to be done by Congress. Immediately, Nancy Pelosi supported it. Said, you know what, I think we have to revise our stimulus bill for the Democrats. It doesn't have in there something for the airlines. Now, you're sitting back and it's morning, you're drinking the coffee's percolating, the butter's buttering, the toast is toasting, you're like, what the hell are we talking about airlines for? I need to hear about my stimulus checks. Oh no, your stimulus checks were anchored, drawn up with a battle and a concern about the airlines. Let me explain to you right now what it is, and no one else is going to explain to you this detail. The airlines have an October 1st deadline that they need to have their stimulus bill approved by October 1st of this year, or the airline industry will collapse. I'll explain to you why in a second. Because of that, they want to put the airlines into the second stimulus package that has the second stimulus checks in it. And now there's an urgency, which they never thought. You always understood there was an urgency because you have incredible bills, you're almost homeless, you had an urgency. But Congress now sees as an urgency to get the second stimulus bill done by October 1st. Oh boy. This is insanely great news, and I know it's a little complicated, but I'm trying to slow it down with you. Why is October 1st suddenly a deadline for everyone? It's a deadline because the airlines, by federal law, cannot sit back and not make a decision about a certain subject. That is, earlier this year, they did what's called furloughing employees. And under federal law, they have to make a decision whether those furloughed employees are hired or fired by October 1st. And the airlines, who are not making enough money, say, we're going to fire them on October 1st. By federal law, we have to make the announcement. It will be an announcement of being firing if we don't get this money, and the entire airline industry will collapse. You'll see airlines shut down. Everything will just sort of collapse. Meantime, you'll have rampant unemployment from the airline industry, the ancillary industries. Everything will collapse. You can't have the airlines industry collapse. Republicans and Democrats agree, so they're saying put it into the second stimulus package with the second stimulus checks and get it done by October 1st. There's an urgency right now. Boy, there's that. The other thing that's really a sense of urgency, which I had been telling you was going to happen, is the seats. Who had the hashtag? You did. We did. Seats for stimulus. Who had that hashtag? Seats for stimulus. New reports now say that the Democrats have told Nancy Pelosi, you know what, we're tired of you. We're tired of you, and we're going to introduce our own bill next week if you don't introduce your bill, because this is what's going to go, and we're going to have a vote for it, and we don't care what you say, Nancy. We're going to do it. So either this or else. They've actually said it on the record. It's not like they said behind closed doors. Republicans, meantime, are saying the same thing as well. So before I get to the incredible quotes, what's going on, what's going to be voted upon, how's this going to work, and what's going to go on? Okay, let me give you first a couple of things so I get it very clear as we sit here at the 8-minute mark of incredible exuberance. First, and I want you to pay close attention to me. One, we have been lied to before by Congress. We have been lied by Mnuchin, we've been lied by Meadows, we've been lied by the president, we've been lied by Nancy, we've been lied by everyone, has lied to us. This would not be the first time we are lied to again. So I'm making very clear to you, they are representing, the people I'm going to go over in a second, are representing members of Congress that there will be a vote next week. Okay? Maybe there's not, and they lied to us again. But they're representing there's going to be a vote on the second stimulus bill next week. That's the first thing. Second thing, A vote on a bill does not mean you're getting a check in the mail next week. I have some people who well, I'm not going to focus on negative. Let's just say when you vote on a bill, it doesn't put the check in your account that day. I don't. It's there's no universe where you say, "Hi, vote." Oh, check. Oh, there's a check there. How did that happen? It's just so you know, this is not the Jetsons. This is not the Jetsons. It's like, boo. Oh, there's a check there. There it was. It's just we're not in. I wish we were in the Jetsons. We could just sort of fly around. Nancy could fly away. But no, when you vote on a bill, it does not put the check in your account that day. I just don't know where people sort of get that idea from. Too much Red Lobster. So there's that thing. There's that one. Third, people are asking me, what day are they voting? I don't know what day they're voting. What hour? What minute? What color are they going to be wearing that? I don't know. I can only know so many things. Third, how fast would you get your checks after there's a vote? Okay, well, let me explain procedurally how that happens. And this, again, is what's been told to us. Again, maybe they're lying, but this is what's been told to us. A vote requires 2 days at least. 1 day for the House, 1 day for the Senate, and then the president has to sign it the third day. 3 days. So you need to have one House of Congress vote on it 1 day, another House vote on the next day, and the president sign it for 3 days. So you need 3 days of voting. Just voting. That's not sending you checks. That's 3 days of voting. Then after that, then you have to count at least 10 days to receive the check if you're on a direct deposit, if you're on direct deposit because of SSDI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, or Veterans benefits, or because the IRS knows your banking account. If they don't have your bank account information, then it'll come by paper check. You have to add another additional week. We know all those routing times because those were represented to us by Mnuchin, which, who again may be lying, but I'm just telling you what his routing times are. This is insanely great news. How much is the check? What is FPUC? Let me go over that as well. I don't want this video to run to 45 minutes because I haven't even gotten to the quotes. The bill and what is the bill is the number one question, and there is no answer for it, and you're going to see in a second. The Republicans are wanting some Republicans, including the president, wants the bill that is voted upon next week to be the problem solvers bill. Okay. Other Republicans don't want the problem solvers bill. There's a bunch of wacko Republicans out there. And someone said, what's their names? I'm like, I really wish I knew their names. I really wish I knew. There's some wacko Republicans that don't want to do a single penny for stimulus. And so they're saying, no, we're not supporting the problem solvers. They're 1.5. We'll support 0. Put a bill for 0 and we'll support that. I don't know who these crazy people are, but there's those out there. They don't want the problem solvers bill. They want something cheaper than the problem solvers bill. On the other side, you have some Democrats saying they want Pelosi to take the HEROES Act and revise it as 2.2, not as 3. Then you have AOC, who's not pouring her drink today or doing herself a pot bill, says, no, stay at 3.5 and let's all die. I don't know what's wrong with her. Sometimes she's great and sometimes she's just wacko, and today she's wacko. She wants Nancy to stay at 3.5. Okay, AOC, we'll just all die. It's just, then you have other Democrats saying, no, absolutely, Nancy should reintroduce HEROES at 2.2 or 2.3 or 2.4. Then finally, you have other Democrats that say, no, it needs to be the problem solvers bill. It needs to be somewhere around 1.5. So you have a lot of versions of what the bill could be next week. I don't know. I don't know which bill is being voted upon. I've totally consistently predicted for you that the deal will ultimately track somewhere around 1.5 to 2. I've always said that. I've always said the president will support 1.5 to 2. I've been reporting that since June when this channel started going to stimulus coming from EIDL coverage in April and PUA. I've said the deal will land at 1.5 to 2. I believe that Nance will go to 2. And there we go. Okay, Lau, go over the provisions. $1,200 individuals, dependents. I don't know. Republicans certainly want the 500, whether you're adult dependent, minor dependent. I don't know if the Democrats are going to go to the mat for the $1,200 adult and minor. Sometimes I don't know what they're really going to the mat over. I would go to the mat over it. The issue of child support not taken out for child support, I don't see that happening. FPUC, Hard to say. I mean, the problem solvers have it at 450, then to 600. I don't think you're going to get $600 every single week all the way to December. I just don't think that's going to happen. And then the problem solvers had 2 checks. I think that should survive. All right, let's get to the incredible details. Boy, this is insanely good. All right, first, here's a comment from Senator Majority Whip John Thune to Washington Post. He is one of the people who says the president's $1.5 trillion number on behalf of Republicans is too high. So he's one of the people you don't want to like. I think if the number gets too high, anything that got passed in the Senate would be passed mostly by Democrat votes and a handful of Republicans, so it's going to have to stay in a sort of realistic range. The same report said that they spoke to several GOP leaders off the record and they said they would not support anything over $1 trillion. Who are those crazy people? That's that set of quotes. Then Pelosi, she said we're in a good place, but that's not what's going on behind the closed doors. Trump on Wednesday said go for a higher number than 1.5. He said he's willing to agree to 1.5. I agree with a lot of that. Then there's this. Texas Democrat Representative Lloyd Doggett predicted a House will vote on a revised stimulus bill either the end of next week or the following week. Mark Meadows also said the next 10 days. So you could put it easy, either next week or the week after. We're not going to go home without voting on something, says Doggett. Okay, next comment. Senator Finance Chairman Chuck Grassley, who's a Republican, long-time Republican. I mean, like decades and decades in the Congress. He said, he again is one of those people says the number of 1.5 that the president supports, the problem solvers number, may not get Republicans to support it. This used to be the White House versus Pelosi up until now. Now I see the president coming in and say we can maybe go to 1.5. He better be careful because I don't think that'll get through the United States Senate. Republicans. The president wants to go over 1.5 though, Chuck. Let's go to another quote. Massachusetts Democrat House Rules Chairman Jim McGovern says the president is motivated to get stimulus out with his name on it. Well, we know that. John Thune, again a Republican from South Dakota, somewhere. Party's number 2 in the chamber, said that some Republicans will get heartburn for signing anything over 1.5. Well, take some Pepto-Bismol. Let's go to the next quote. There are some Republicans, such as Roy Blunt of Missouri and John Corcoran of Texas, who have suggested that a $1.5 billion plan from the problem solvers could be the basis of the deal. But many others said that wasn't enough GOP for that much spending. That was too rich. What else? Several swing Democrats have privately pressed for a vote this coming week on the 2.2 as the number. But Pelosi and others say that they should not move off of their 3.4. Pelosi said others will say, let's just put our proposal on the floor. But others say, no, the proposal from the Democrats need to be 2.2. Then there's this. What we wanted to demonstrate is that it can be done, said Problem Solvers co-chair Representative Tom Reed, Republican out of New York. Some senators remain optimistic about Pelosi and Mitch McConnell can reach a deal by election day. Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat out of New York. There are critical states that have tough re-elections, and I'm sure McConnell is hearing from those senators who are hearing from those governors that they need stimulus relief right now. McConnell had one of the, here's another one, Senator Mazie Hirono, Democrat out of Hawaii. I have a lot of Hawaii viewers. McConnell had one group of vulnerable senators who wanted to do something because they're running for re-election, hearing from the constituents. We had another group, maybe 20 of them, saying, we've done enough, we don't want to do any more. This shows you the battle. Some groups are saying to Mitch, we're going to lose our seat if we don't do more. Others are saying we've done enough. But some Republican senators who are not up for re-election, like Pennsylvania's Patrick Toomey, insist on a narrower bill. The economy is in a very difficult place right now in mid-September, and that it was in mid-March. Anything we could do should reflect that. Uh, Many of the 50 Problem Solvers caucus say that the swing districts that are up for seats may ultimately decide whether we get the bill and what it will look like. It's time for them to put American people first because they're suffering from COVID-19 situation. Then there's more. Another report. Connor Lamb, who's a Democrat out of Pennsylvania, says, people think we're not doing our job if we're not voting and not negotiating. So I'd like to negotiate, I'd like to vote, I'd like to do it all. We got to do something rather than nothing because there's too many people over there who want to do nothing. This is incredible. And this is a Democrat. He's saying we're doing nothing and it looks like we're doing nothing. We can't keep on doing nothing. So he's calling for a vote as well. It's harder to see how we can go lower when you only have greater needs, says Pelosi. You can just get rid of the stupid bailout of state and local for $950 billion. Others have told Pelosi to recalibrate the HEROES Act and come in at about 2. Speaker is not revealing that members of her caucus have told her you need to pull a vote on a smaller bill. Pelosi is not happy. We're hearing we have different things, but the fact is we have agreement and we're going to stay until we have an agreement. No, you're not. That's what she says. That's not what's happening. Now, AOC is the one that's sort of delusional, as usual. And she says, if we're going to come together and pass a sugar high of a $1,200 check and nothing else, then we're setting people up to fail. And she basically says, don't do a standalone bill of $1,200. That hurts America. I mean, everything she says is off of kilter. Derek Kilmer of Washington, head of the New Democrat Coalition, said he and his members of the group want to see a robust, comprehensive deal voted upon next week. The sense of urgency that you've been seeing expressed by a whole bunch of our members is based upon conversations we've had with people who are really hurting right now, and the pain is real. Another one, a Democrat out of Michigan, Dan Gildy, says that there should be a vote next week at $2.2 trillion. We're not going to negotiate against ourselves, but we're not going to deny the fact that we have some distance in order to try to get something done. I think we can translate the Pelosi offer into legislation and put it on the floor and get not only Democrats, but maybe some Republicans. Pelosi wants to tell you, as the sun really comes in, that she has her caucus's support. You hear how many Democrats I just quoted. I had more in 2 more pages of people who said, do the vote next week, do the vote next week. So as we sit here today, a lot of big developments. This is a day to really subscribe to this channel as the sun comes in. So go to the front of this channel and subscribe and drop your comments below. Hit that alert button. This is the community you need to be following. This is where you need to stay. No one else is delivering you these details. And like this video. Coming up at Afternoons LALATE is going to be bombshells and more at 3:30. As always, stay informed, stay focused, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.